A very good evening to you all and welcome to English News Bulletin here on Rwanda Television. We'll begin with the headlines. As the International Residual Mechanism for Criminal Tribunals prepares to close its offices in Rwanda, Deputy Permanent Representative Robert Kayinamura of Rwanda's permanent mission to the United Nations emphasized in the General Assembly that the information contained in the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda documents should be kept in Rwanda. The measures implemented by the government of Rwanda to combat the Marburg epidemic are proving effective. According to the Ministry of Health, there have been no reported fatalities from the epidemic during the 3-day period from October 15 to 17, 2024. My name is Olive Nete and it's always a pleasure to have you with us. And kicking off this edition, we'll begin with this communique from the Office of the Prime Minister. On Friday, October 18th, 2024, His Excellency Paul Kagame, the President of the Republic of Rwanda, chaired a cabinet meeting at Urugwiro village. The cabinet was briefed on measures to contain the Marburg virus outbreak. Cabinet conveyed condolences to the families of the bereaved. Cabinet noted the progress made and thanked frontline health workers for their dedication in fighting this outbreak. Cabinet also appreciated the support of partners and their contribution to controlling the outbreak. The government of Rwanda continues to implement an evidence-based response and is monitoring the situation closely. The public is urged to continue following preventive guidelines from the Ministry of Health. The Cabinet approved applications of Rwandan nationality. Third, the Cabinet approved the presidential order granting pardon to 32 convicts and the ministerial order granting release on parole to 2,017 convicts. The Cabinet approved a host country agreement between the Government of Rwanda and the International Vaccine Institute, IVI, for the establishment of the IVI's Africa Regional Office in Rwanda. The Cabinet approved the following draft laws. Draft law approving a ratification of the agreement between the Republic of Rwanda and the Republic of Zambia on the transfer of convicted persons signed in Kigali on December 31st, 2020. Draft law approving a ratification of the agreement between the Republic of Rwanda and the Republic of Angola on the transfer of convicted persons signed in Kigali on April 15th, 2022. Draft law approving a ratification of the loan agreement between the Republic of Rwanda and the OPEDEC Fund for International Development relating to the loan for the Rwanda Dairy Development Project, Phase 2, signed in Kigali, Rwanda on August 6, 2024. Draft law approving a ratification of the financing agreement between the Republic of Rwanda and the International Development Association relating to the Credit for Priority Skills for Growth and Youth Empowerment Program signed in Kigali, Rwanda on September 12, 2024. Draft law on obligations, draft law governing the professions of architecture, engineering and quantity surveying. Draft law establishing the Institute of Procurement Professionals and determining its organization and functioning. Number 6, the Cabinet approved the following orders. Ministerial order relating to Akagera, Nyungwe, Volcanoes and Gishwati Mukura National Parks. Ministerial order determining the size and management of a national park or nature reserve buffer zone. Ministerial order governing the community committee for a national park or state-owned nature reserve. Ministerial order relating to a private nature reserve. Number 7, the Cabinet approved the following policies, program and strategies. FinTech strategy, sustainable public procurement policy framework for Rwanda, gambling policy, joint venture between Government of Rwanda and Rio Tinto Minerals Development Limited, lease of state land in its private domain of Izuba Cross-Boundary Energy Rwanda Limited for the development of solar plant to supply electricity to Bantech Company. Concession agreement between the Government of Rwanda and DP World for the construction of Rubavu Bonded Warehouse. Number 8, the Cabinet approved the agreement of the following ambassadors and honorary consuls. Mr. Vyachels Yatisuk, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Ukraine to Rwanda with residence in Kigali. Ms. Lydie Hakizimana, Honorary Consul of the Republic of Latvia in Rwanda, Mr. Hassan Adan Hassan, Honorary Consul of the Republic of Djibouti in Rwanda. The Cabinet also made the following appointments. Rwanda Development Board, Mr. Kasahun Kebede, Board Member. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Ms. Aurore Mimosa Munyagaju, proposed Ambassador of Rwanda to the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg. Agaciro Development Fund, Ms. Ulrike Kainamura, Chief Executive Officer. Rwanda Cooperation Initiative RCI, Ms. Patricie Uwase, Chief Executive Officer. The National Public Prosecution Authority, Ms. Bonaventure Ruberwa, Deputy Prosecutor General. Rwanda Elders Advisory Forum, Mr. Adolphe Shaka Bazatoha, Council Member. The Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning, Minecofin, Mr. Jean-Baptiste Sande, Accountant General, Mr. Jules César Ategekimana, International Auditor General, Mr. Gérald Mugabe, Head of Development Finance Department, Mr. Chris Athanase Twagirimana, Head of Investment Opportunities Department, Mr. Evariste Habimana, Head of Portfolio Oversight Department, Mr. Dennis Dadu Habumugisha, Head of National Treasury Department, Ms. Janine Mukanyenzi, National Treasury Analyst, Ms. Edith Mucho, Debt Management Analyst, Mr. Evode Munyaneza, Deputy Accountant General, Accountant Consolidation and Reporting, Mr. Kevin Sebineza, Director General of National Research, Mr. Stephen Viganiro, Director General of Capital Markets and Investment Schemes. Mr. Jonathan Havugimana, Director General of Non-Current Assets and Inventory, Mr. Fred Manzi Mukombozi, Director General of Budget Management and Reporting, Ms. Diana Mbabazi, Budget Management and Reporting Analyst, Ms. Christine Mukanhundie, Gender Responsive Budget Analyst, Ms. Pascazi Mukarukundo, Budget Policy Formulation and Reform Analyst, Mr. Faustin Tuisenye, Director General of Central Government, Quality Assurance and Audits, Mr. Gracien Kugimana, Director General of Local Government, Projects, Programs and Special Audits, Mr. Gabriel Nwari, Senior Data Scientist in National Development Planning Department, Ms. Josephine Isugi, Civil Engineering Projects Analyst, Mr. Arnold Aksanti, Investment Analyst under Capital Markets and Investment Schemes, Mr. Audrey Nziza, Civil Engineering Projects Analyst, Ms. Sylvie Isingizwe, Energy Project Analyst, Mr. Amos Shaka Kazora, Water Project Analyst, Mr. Jean-Marie Savato, Agriculture Project Analyst, Mr. Leonidas Kazana Manayubahwe, Microeconomic Policy Analyst, Ms. Lucy Niigena, Tax Policy Analyst, Mr. Elvis Chubahiro, Planning Analyst in charge of Economic Cluster, Mr. Vincent Stuart Kiaze, Planning Analyst in charge of Social Cluster, Mr. Alain Gendahimana, Planning Analyst in charge of Governance Cluster, Mr. Theogene Murego, Spatial Planning Analyst, Ms. Francine Wimbabazi, Spatial Planning Analyst, Mr. Protogene Zigirababiri, Legal Analyst, Mr. Tom Butera, Bilateral Development Finance Analyst, Ms. Arlette Lilios Mukamisha, Investment Analyst, Mr. Patrick Mutimura Ruribagiza, Investment Analyst, Mr. Protogene Mutwarasibo, Investment Analyst, Mr. Alain Olivier Kiruhura, Portfolio Performance Analyst, Ms. Adeline Musaniwawa, Portfolio Performance Analyst, Mr. Gael Bertrand Kaitare, Business Support Analyst, Mr. Theonest Niodusenga, Business Support Analyst, Ms. Susanna Tuguta Bukele, Corporate Governance and Compliance Analyst, Mr. Specios Mukanjishi, Deal Transaction Analyst, Ms. Jessica Mwiseneza, Deal Transaction Analyst, Mr. François Habyarimana, Risk Management Analyst, Mr. Sam Karamaga, Financial Decentralization Analyst. In the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources, Ms. Raisa Urujeni, Analyst, Crop Production, Supply Chain and Markets. In the Ministry of Education, Mr. Jean-Claude Hashakineza, Director General in charge of Education Communication. In the Rwanda Biomedical Center, Mr. Jean Bosco Ntirenganya, Division Manager, Rwanda Health Communication Center. In the Chancellery for Heroes, National Orders and Decorations of Honor, Mr. Nicholas Gwaka, who is the division manager. The Ministry of National Unity and Civic Engagement informed Cabinet of the activities scheduled for the 2024 Unity and Resilience Month that started from October 1st to 31st, 2024. The Ministry of Local Government informed Cabinet of the discharge ceremony for ex-armed groups members scheduled on October 22nd, 2024 at Mutobo Demobilization Center. The Minister of Finance and Economic Planning informed Cabinet of the celebration of the International Savings Week scheduled from October 24th to 31st, 2024, and it will be launched on October 26th to 2024 in Nyaruguru District. The Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources informed Cabinet of the celebration of the World Food Day 2024 scheduled on October 25th, 2024 in the Western Province, Nyamasheke District. The Ministry of Environment informed the Cabinet of the launch of the 2024-2025 tree and forest planting season and the celebration of the 49th anniversary of Tree Planting Day in Rwanda scheduled on October 26, 2024. The Ministry of Sports informed Cabinet of the games to be hosted in Rwanda and those which Rwanda will be participating abroad. The Rwanda Table Tennis national team is participating in the 2024 Table Tennis Federation Africa Senior Championship from October 12th to 19th, 2024 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. 10 young Rwandan athletes are participating in the FC Bayern Munich Youth World Cup from October 15th to 19th, 2024. From Rwanda Cricket men's national team is participating in the International Cricket Companionship ICC T20 World Cup Africa from October 17th to 26th, 2024 in Nairobi, Kenya. Rwanda football men's national team will play CAF African Nations Championship qualifiers matches against Djibouti on October 27, 2024 and November 1st, 2024, both matches in Rwanda. The Minister of Youth and Arts informed the Cabinet of the 2024 Youth Connect Africa Summit to be hosted in Kigali from November 8th to 11th, 2024. The Ministry of Education informed the Cabinet of the Africa Foundational Learning Exchange Flex 2024, scheduled in Kigali from November 11th to the 13th, 2024. And this was done today, Kigali, October 18th, 2024, signed by the Prime Minister, Dr. Edward Ngirente. Moving ahead to other matters, as the International Residual Mechanism of Criminal Tribunals prepares to close its offices in Rwanda, Deputy Permanent Representative Robert Kainamura of Rwanda's permanent mission to the United Nations emphasized in the General Assembly that information contained in the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda, ICTR, documents should be kept in Rwanda.
Those Rwandans acquitted or who have served their sentences. Our approach is rooted in reconciliation and welcoming them back as part of Rwanda's restorative justice processes. Thirdly, Rwanda took note of the issue of the relocation of acquitted persons or released persons as contained in the report. The report states that the resettlement of the acquitted or released persons who are presently residing in Nigeria remains unresolved. Madam President, colleagues, Rwanda wishes to remind member states that in all meetings with officials of the court, the Rwandan government has consistently made it clear that these Rwandans acquitted or released by the court are free to come back to Rwanda. If they decide to do so, they will certainly not be the first Rwandans to return to Rwanda and live side by side with other Rwandans in full enjoyment of their rights. This has been the case for hundreds of thousands of former convicts who today live peacefully side by side with survivors, a testament to the success of Rwanda's unity and reconciliation effort.
operated from 1994 until December 31st, 2015, handling 93 cases, which resulted in 62 convictions and 14 acquittals. Over the years, those convicted for their roles in the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi have completed their sentences, while the status of the acquitted remains unresolved. In this content, Deputy Permanent Representative Robert Kainamura of Rwanda's Permanent Mission to the United Nations reaffirmed Rwanda's commitment to achieving full reconciliation among its citizens, emphasizing that the country remains open to those willing to reclaim their rights within its borders.
Again, as the mechanism prepares to foreclosure for its function, Rwanda observes the following important aspects for the future of the mechanism. First, and certainly the most important request, is of the relocation of the ICTR mechanism archives to Rwanda. The ICTR mechanism archives hold immense historical value to Rwanda. Decades of testimonies, records, and evidence exist in this archive, and it's important that its custodian management is carried out in Rwanda, either by Rwanda or the UN, on the Rwandan soil, and Rwanda will guarantee accessibility and confidentiality of the information contained therein.
Now, moving ahead to health matters, the measures implemented by the government of Rwanda to combat the Marburg epidemic are proving effective. According to the Ministry of Health, there have been no reported fatalities from the epidemic during a 3-day period from October 15 to 17, 2024. However, Dr. Ivan Butera, the Minister of State in the Ministry of Health, cautions against complacency, emphasizing that this does not signify a complete victory over the epidemic. Since the initiation of the Marburg vaccination campaign in Rwanda, 1,000 individuals, primarily from the health sector, have been vaccinated. The Ministry of Health has also addressed concerns among the public regarding the safety of the Marburg vaccine, assuring citizens that it has undergone rigorous testing. Furthermore, the ministry has confirmed that no employee will be dismissed for opting not to receive the vaccine.
Indeed, it's been 3 days since we haven't recorded a death related to Marburg. I think it's a positive sign that the measures government has put in place and along with partners have yielded very good results in terms of early testing, in terms of contact tracing, quarantine, as well as public health measures in general, but also vaccination programs, as well as therapeutic protocols that we've put in place. I think it's a good sign that we are headed into the right direction. It is not yet time to say that we have completely gotten rid of the outbreak, but I think we are heading towards that area. So if we continue to work together, be it people involved into this response and the community in general, we should be able to get to the end of the outbreak very soon. I think the most important thing is to protect the lives of people, be it citizens of Rwanda, but also our guests that come here. We've put all the measures in place to contain the outbreak, and it's going very well. We've put in place protocols to ensure that we have quick testing, quick isolation of patients, quick treatment, but as well as monitoring at our entry points, other entry points across the country, heightened measures of surveillance that have given us very good signals that the outbreak is being really contained. People come to Rwanda. In fact, we are hosting many events as we speak. We have many guests and travelers that come here for different reasons, be it for business, but also for leisure and other things. So things are going well, and we think that it will continue to be like that. It's true. We've seen that more than 80% of people that were affected by the outbreak were healthcare workers. by the nature of how Rwanda is and how Rwandans actually seek care in health facilities, which is a good thing. We've put in place now measures to increase our level of infection prevention and control across all health facilities in the country, but also training to all healthcare workers to be able to protect themselves against be it Marburg, but any other pathogen of the sort. An important thing that we've also put in place in the vaccination, and we started our vaccination program mainly focusing on healthcare workers and frontline workers, and it's also giving good signs so far. But all in all, I think we're putting strong measures to really prevent any transmission in this area of healthcare workers and also in general for the population. We're guided by science to protect the lives of Rwandans, and particularly healthcare workers that were mainly hit by this outbreak. It's true that the vaccine is still going through some phases, but early phase results shown that vaccine is safe and tolerable, which is the most important thing. And some preliminary data also showing some good immune response from people that received the vaccine. No one can be blamed for not taking the vaccine or face other consequences because vaccination is voluntary. But the important point here is to understand what does vaccination bring or contribute to the control of this outbreak. And there are clear signs that vaccination prevents consequences, negative consequences of the disease. So it's going very well. I think so far we are edging 1,000 doses that have been delivered, and we are seeing some good trends in that direction.
Now to the sports industry. The Rwanda Mountain Gorilla Rally, which is happening for its 24th time, had its ceremonial start today at Kigali Convention Center before the teams head to Nemba, where the competition will be officially running until Sunday. William Evans has more on this.
With engines rolling and spirits soaring, fans flooded the venue ready to witness the intense competition, heating up right from the start as a dynamic lineup of fearless riders vowed to give their best for this competition.
I'm very happy to see a growing presence of women in motorsports. I'm ready, I'm aiming for top 10, and yeah.
Finished here second once, and the other last two years we have won the race, so we're hoping for a hat-trick now. And we're hoping to obviously put on a good show for the crowd.
In rallying, everything is possible. It is not done until it's over. What I can say is that my aim is to be among the top 8.
Every year I always come here, I always win the two-wheel category like last year, and I hope this year I will also do the same. So you should expect fire, nothing much.
Of course, today we are celebrating more than just a race. We are celebrating passion, we are celebrating speed, we are celebrating skill, we are celebrating the fearless spirits of this driver. William Evans, RwandaTV News.
To more news, the people and leaders in the Rupi sector in South Sudan have commended the work of the Rwandan soldiers who are under UN MIS in the Rupi for the community work, which has improved well-being of local communities.
I thank the Rwandan army for helping us, and they usually come to us for the water and some other things that they have come today for. Helping us and giving us some medical treatment.
I don't know which words should I use to express myself. It's actually one of my wonderful days, and I wish the Rwandan community and the Rwandan contingent, which is in Juba, should continue to support our people by providing like what you have been providing, like the free medical services, and the water that they are providing to our community. So I'm so much happy.
RwandaTV is one of the most important elements of Sector Juba in implementing the UN mandate in South Sudan. As Sector Commander, I feel privileged to say that they have been demonstrating outstanding performance in discharging their assigned responsibilities. Particularly today, what you are witnessing is one of the efforts that they have been taking since long to support the local community. In similar efforts before, they have provided educational materials for the students, planted fruit trees, provided medical facilities, and supplied drinking water. The local community as well as Sector Juba appreciate the commendable efforts of RwandaTV, and we wish all the best for Colonel John Tyson and his team here.
Moving ahead to other matters, in the Nyaruwaka sector of Kamonyi, residents express their gratitude for a decade-long collaboration with the Japanese government, which they say has laid a solid foundation for their community's development. What they value most is the knowledge gained in modern farming techniques and effective loan management, and both of which have significantly improved their livelihoods. We have more on this. Nihanabayo Eli is among those who have seen significant improvement in their social lives over the past 10 years through their involvement with the Global Civic Sharing Project. Along with Mukarubiza Alice, they affirm their commitment to applying the knowledge they have gained to continue developing themselves and their community.
Because they taught us various things such as modern farming practices, I for one will not backslide or forget the knowledge I have been given.
In the past, we used to farm by planting maize, harvesting it, and then consuming it all, and that was it. But now I can cultivate and harvest 100 kilogram or even 200 kilogram and sell it at the market. At a small exhibition showcasing 10 years of achievements in the Nyaruwaka sector, 20 groups were honored for their contributions under the Global Civic Sharing Project. Kamonyi District Vice Mayor for Social Affairs, Uwiringira Marie-José, expressed confidence in the future of these communities, noting that the strong organization and collaboration over the years ensure that they will continue driving their own development forward. In the past year, 2023, there was no tangible support for them. They worked on various projects in their 40 teams. Now we have hope that citizens who have learned better farming practices, such as using manure and efficiently utilizing their harvests, can benefit. For example, if they establish a factory that produces flour from the cassava they harvest, instead of selling 1 kilogram of cassava for 500, they could sell 1 kilogram of cassava flour for 1,000. This way, they wouldn't miss out on the potential profit. The Korea International Cooperation Agency in Rwanda supported the Global Civic Sharing Rwanda organization in a project focused on community development through self-learning groups. Jinwa Kim, country director of the Koika Rwanda office, emphasized that although their work in Nyaruwaka has concluded, the capacities built by the two cooperatives in this sector should continue to drive positive changes benefiting the wider population.
Actually, there are mainly the two cooperatives. One cooperative focusing on the vegetable, and then also the other crops. And then the other the cooperative the focusing on the cassava. So we really hope that they can continuously implement their techniques, and then also climate change related the good agriculture in their community, so that now they can be the leader of this community. So which means they can share their techniques and knowledges and know-how with their other community, so that the other communities can learn from them.
According to the International Fund for Agricultural Development Standards, Hunju Cho, Executive Director of the Global Civic Sharing Project, reports that approximately 1,479 people have been lifted out of poverty through the initiative. The program, which empowers groups to work independently by teaching modern farming practices, began in 2022, with 5 groups achieving independence that year. In 2023, 15 more groups became self-sufficient, and in 2024, an additional 20 are set to follow suit. The Nyaruwaka Community Development Committee, we'll continue working with the community to ensure that these gains are sustained and not reversed. And this story marks the end of tonight's bulletin. Thank you for tuning in to today's broadcast. On behalf of the technical and news production team, we wish you a restful weekend. Until next time, goodbye.